what the writers didn't seem to realize is that if you do the same thing over and over again with a character, it either becomes boring or hilarious.
It's in the bone! It's in the bone! It's in the bone!
I have nothing to say! Hey, this is the Sword and the Pen Reflections. It is my casual alternative to that channel. If you're here, you know the deal. We're looking at Amazon's Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 7. The only things I remember about this episode are that it all takes place in the Two Rivers. It's the big battle episode, and Alana dies yet again. From the books, I remember more of the lead up to this battle than I remember the battle itself, but that was because a lot of the battle was contingent on how the lead up happened. But this is such a different story from what we get in the books. At this point, there's no point in comparing to what happened in the books. It's just like in the previous episode where I pretty much just said, I don't remember how all this went in the books except that it was different. That's going to be what it's like for this one too. So we're just going to look at it and judge it for as it is on its own. And I'll point out a few of the differences, things like how characters are not even here, have no part whatsoever in this battle, but whatever. Anyway, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji. It's totally free for you. For me, I might make some money on this video, only if it's monetized though. The last one was not monetized. That's why I was able to put so many clips and music things in it, because it wasn't monetized. I only make like 40 bucks on these videos. Like each video that takes me like weeks to edit, I make like 40 bucks. So, but if you want to make a significant contribution and you have the means, you can also check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the money heart thanks button down below. You can become a subscriber even for just $1 a month, or you can leave me a one-time tip, also just for $1. I appreciate anything. That's it. Let's do this. I would like to point out that the episode is called Golden Eyes, and so far this season, I don't think we've had anything wolfy happen, have we? I don't think so. I think there's been no wolf brother nonsense at all. And in the books, so okay, I just do want to point this out. In the books, Perrin can like go into the dream world as well. The wolves kind of help him figure out how to do all of this. And there's this whole adventure with him rescuing Fail. And that's like one of the big ways that they bond. It's like the first time that he goes to like rescue the damsel in distress, and it's definitely because he has feelings for her, and like their love, they go on other adventures too, but like that was when it was like, okay, this is a thing for sure, like that's where it's going. And that's why their relationship felt like you'd built up to it more. They had spent more time together. They had faced dangers together. He had put himself at risk for her, and likewise her the other way around. And then here we are in this episode. They're already together. They almost banged in the previous episode. And it's called Golden Eyes. And we haven't had any wolfy stuff. And I don't think there's any wolfy stuff in this episode either. Where are the wolves? In the opening shot, we're getting a drone shot of the Two Rivers. And I do remember people pointing out it's different from season 1. This village is no longer in the same location, but they had to change it for battle tactics reasons. So, okay, it's okay. That's like as funny as it is, and as big a deal and ridiculous thing as like in continuity goes, like that's pretty bad. But it doesn't bother me that much compared to some of the other things. The Two Rivers has been fortified. We've got palisades on the outside, I believe that's what they're called, and some watchtowers. And then we can see that some of the townsfolk are practicing with spears. And then we go to Perrin, and he's in his blacksmith shop hammering away at what looks like an axe. And then you can see that Maxim is training the townsfolk. Now, the Two Rivers people were like excellent archers. Like they were very good archers. And then there was also a talent in, like bow staff or something. I'm not sure. That's like one weapon I have zero knowledge on whatsoever. That thing. The thing that we saw Matt doing in the second season when he fought Elaine's brothers. But yeah, so there's a couple things about this. First of all, in the books, Perrin is largely the one responsible for gathering all of the folks of the Two Rivers area, because there were farmers and like little satellite clusters all over the place. And he was like, you guys can't stand out there. Like, you need to come further into town because you're going to get raided. You guys are all going to get murdered by Trollocs who come through and just destroy you because you have no defense. And we can't spread out our defenses. So he basically convinced everybody to gather together and then fortify the town. Like, he was the one who did that because he had been out in the world at this point and seen these sorts of things and realized this is what we've got to do. He's also demonstrated himself over and over again to be a protector character. So defense is something that he would be thinking about a lot. It's stressed again and again and again in the books that he is a big guy. He knows he's very strong. He has to be careful with the people around him. So he's extra hyper aware of people's vulnerabilities against strength because he himself is one of those powers that could cause damage if he isn't careful. So now he's looking around going, okay, I see all these things that are weak that, like, you know, if I could bust through that wall, we better board it up. You know, he's keeping these things in mind. Anyway, it wasn't exactly like that, but that's the mentality that you have, I think, as this type of a character. And the show has done nothing to show that at all. There was one episode where he stood there and talked to the people. And I really wish that they had done more of this to show that he is the leader of this town. Like, everybody is looking up to him as the Lord. He just done almost nothing with the exception of that one talk, which any rando person in town probably has done that before. Some of the wise women definitely have stood there and talked to everybody and convinced everybody they should do certain things. But he was going out to these farms and personally gathering people and saying, come back into town, like, get into town, stay in there, just abandon your farm because you can always regrow crops and stuff. You can't regrow children. Like, he was the one pulling them in and rallying the people. And they started to look to him like, wow, he knows what he's talking about because we are stronger all together like this. And this is how we're going to survive this. Anyway, the show, he's just some dude hammering in a blacksmith shop, something that we have not seen him do really until now, except for once in a dream, right? Yeah. Oh, wait, we didn't see him in the first episode doing it either because it was his wife that was doing it. Oh, whatever. Oh, yeah, we also see Alana teaching the girls how to channel or breathe, one of those. Then so Perrin turns to two other guys that are with him in the blacksmith shop. They're obviously sharpening swords. And he's like, hey, remember stone first and then leather, or they finish the sentence for him. And you're like, oh, Lord Perrin taught us well. And he's like, I told you, don't call me that. And the other guy goes, sure, Lord Golden Eyes. Like, they're telling us, actually telling in the dialogue, this is what we've been calling him because he had to say, I told you, don't call me that. We never saw them like calling him this before because there's never been an instance where we saw him being in charge doing all this stuff. This is like, it's a real it's a real hard attempt at showing versus telling, except that they're still just telling. We have not seen Perrin being the leader of the town, rallying everybody, telling them what they should do. He still doesn't even look like he's the leader of the town. It's just these two rando kids who, are doing blacksmithing stuff with him now. Oh. The best thing that they could have done is shown anytime that they're checking in with Perrin, rather than doing this stuff with him and Fail having like a conversation down in the basement or whatever. Let's actually see him being proactive and gathering people, bringing them in, doing leaderly things. And then slowly you start seeing people deferring to him, like coming up to him, like, what should we do now? And that would be like, okay, now we can see they're starting to look to him as a leader. And then at one point have somebody say, yes, my lord, or yes, Lord Perrin, or something, or just you gradually feed that in. To just do this, he went from literally just another dude in town to now they call him Lord Perrin for who knows why. Somebody's ringing the alarm and says, the Trollocs are here, the Trollocs are here. Perrin grabs an axe off the wall, very unceremoniously, I have to say, when this was like a big kind of like symbolic thing. Every fan I've ever heard commenting on videos talks about how it's a huge deal, the axe or the hammer. This is like the choice for Perrin. Is he going to be a force of creation or destruction, basically?
Bloody Trollocs! And their wagons!
dragons. It's not Trollocs. Stand down. Those are Tuatha'an.
Oh, great. This is so typical.
Open the gate. It's all right. You can come in.
That was just dumb. That was like a reason to raise tension and then like have it disappear in like 2 seconds later. I think it would have been better to just have somebody call back like somebody's coming, because all you have to do is look and see they're not Trollocs. Like, that's not hard to see that they're not Trollocs, especially when they're like 50 feet away from the door and they're still like, oh no, don't let them in. But yeah, Perrin in the books did convince the town to like let the Tuatha'an come in and join them. And well, again, there's no point in comparing. If I do that, we will be here forever. Let's just go. So he tells them you're welcome to come in. And first of all, if I was a townsperson, I would be pissed. Like, they're not going to be any help to us unless they agree to do things that aren't fighty, but are somehow supporting our soldiers, because they'd just be a burden. They would literally be a burden on everybody, because you got to feed them, you got to clothe them, you got to fix their wounds, because a bunch of them are hurt. They were just attacked by Trollocs. Anyway, so Ela and Aram come up to Perrin, and they're like, oh, reunion. And he goes, what happened? And I guess the dad got killed. And so it's just them. He's like, where were you? And she's like, just a couple miles out of town. That's where the Trollocs attacked them the night before. And then she talks about how there are folks from all over the two rivers they've been displaced, and they're coming in too. It's not just us Tuatha'an, which kind of takes away, again, that Perrin was the one who went out and gathered all of them and brought them in. This is like they just happened to come in. Like, nobody thought to go and ask the guys in the outlier towns too, but the outlying farms and stuff, which would be little communities, to come further into town and, seek the protection of being a big group. Anyway. Also, the Aiel did not do their jobs, because they're bringing up the rear, and it's like, you didn't send somebody up ahead to be like, yeah, this is not an enemy. Maybe they thought that the townsfolk would know better. Like, surely those guys who are standing up on top of the towers, the lookout towers, would be able to see that these are not Trollocs. But anyway. Also, Ela looked at Perrin holding the axe like, oh no, he's chosen the axe. And that was never really like a thing. I mean, in my mind, an axe is not first a weapon. It is first a tool, and then it is a weapon. So if he'd had a sword, now that would be a different story, because a sword has only one purpose. So you don't see people using them to cut firewood. They've tried, it's not very efficient, so. And yeah, that ends with Perrin going, they'll come for us tonight, and then we get the opening credits. And the biggest thought that I have on this is what I've already said, that Perrin is the one who should have been going out, getting the other people, bringing them into town, being the leader in this. Instead, he's like being informed, oh, we're doing this. And he's like, good. I would not follow that kind of person. Okay, this always makes me laugh. Like, there are so many ways that you can depict somebody who has like a specific diet that they eat, and it's clearly for moral purposes, and you can depict it in a way that doesn't seem ungrateful. And this is a failed attempt to look great. Like, it...
Perrin told me you don't eat meat, so don't worry, I picked out all the bits.
Thank you.
Somebody who's very busy cooking for all these people, and then she's got this new slew of people that she has to bring food for, and she took the time to take the meat out of the stew for them. And Ela just has this sour face. Maybe it's just bad directing. They should have told the actress, like, that's not the right face, because you look like you're going, fine, thanks. I mean, it's not that bad. But then it is amplified when she looks over at Aram, and Aram is like ready to like, oh, thank goodness I can finally have some food. And she's like, you're not going to eat that. And he goes, oh, fine. Like it may have taken more time, but maybe she should have been like, we still can't eat it if it was cooked with all of the meat, but look, I'll help you make more food, and I'll make some for all of us too, so you don't have to worry about it. This could surely be used to feed some of your soldiers. Something like, I don't know, like it would have been better. Now, the thing that they did with Aram, though, is good, because he's slowly starting to turn away from the Tuatha'an lifestyle. In the book, it's a choice from the start. In the show, it seems less like a choice and more like a oops, I have to now kind of thing. So don't take away at least that's what I remember it being. Don't take away characters making decisions that have permanent consequences and change their lives, because those are the best kinds of, like, unless they're just stupid decisions. But if you have a character that is purposeful and going like, I'm going to decide to do this, and then they do it and they regret it later, but like it's too late, you're already on the road. That's like so much better and more interesting to read than somebody who like, oh no, I fell into this and like, well, I was already kind of rebellious before. Like, how about you're rebellious and then you make the choice to not be part of the Tuatha'an, and then later you're going like, now I've lost my family and what have I done to myself? I have to live with this. I don't know. It's always in the presentation, like how you present this scenario in your story. You can always do something to make it more interesting, with whichever direction that you go. But this was just like he would never. Oh, whatever. I'm done. Please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji. It's a free way to support this channel. Or if you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the Money Heart Thanks button down below. You can become a subscriber or leave me a one-time tip. Anything is much appreciated. Now let's get back to it. Ela's like, oh, I always thought we'd, see you again, but I wished you would come and join us, and not be here making war. Like, she's being very, she is insulting him between the lines here. And anyway, Aram at least is like, yeah, if he had come and joined us and become a Tuatha'an, he'd probably be dead by now. Like, my grandpa's died. It wasn't, I guess Aram is not their son. He is their grandson. Anyway, I don't remember. And then Ela goes,
The way of the leaf has never been easy, but the Tuatha'an have always walked it. We bury our dead, and we go on. What else is there?
Go where? How? Without wagons or people to fill them?
I have a problem with the Tuatha'an in general. When it comes to wartime, they are going to be a burden on whoever they are with unless they make the choice to support the people defending them. And then they are 100% dependent on people putting their lives on the line to keep them alive. It's just this is not sustainable. They are also major victims. If you think that just because we're peaceful, nobody's ever going to come after us, like, there are people who are going to be like, oh my goodness, perfect target. I could literally sweep in, take what I want, and sweep out, and it's like a buffet. What I love Perrin's little wise words here.
Look, it may be the season of falling leaves, but when people see how bad the trees are, they will long for spring, and your wagons will fill again.
Perhaps there's hope for you yet.
Again, that assumes that all evil everywhere in everyone's hearts has been eradicated. Then we get from the Aiel, okay, this is where we get like...
He's handsome. That tinker boy. For a coward.
I don't think he'd like that.
She wouldn't try it. No Aiel would dirty herself with a lost one.
Thank you for the gift of your body's moisture. We accept it in the spirit in which it was given.
So they at least end with the correct sentiment. They would be so disgusted just at looking at them because they have the same mindset as I am. Like, you're a waste of space. Like, why are you here? They're not enemies, and they would never go and cause harm to them. Like, that is so what do you call it? That would be dishonorable to do something like that, to hurt or cause harm on somebody who refuses to pick up a weapon. But then again, they're like a waste of space. I'm so on the side of the Aiel in this one. I do think it's funny also that we've gone from walking to talking to standing and talking and now sitting and talking.
You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it? Why are we here?
Then we cut over to Alana teaching the girls again. And she's like, all right, picture the bud, same thing. And what I don't get is she's like, the girls are like, hey, how do we throw fireballs or whatever? And she's like, you don't have time to learn how to do battle weaves. She's like, what I need you to do is learn how to link with me so that I can draw on your power, which, I mean, yeah, that would kind of make sense, except that in the previous episode, they had done one of the what is supposed to be most complex kind of weaving you can do, channeling whatever, which is healing a broken, dying human body. If they're that talented, surely they can throw fireballs. I mean, did the people who wrote this episode watch the previous episode? Like, did you read that episode script? No? Then Alana notices this old lady who's watching them. And she goes, oh, you can channel because you can see all of our weaves, you know? Hey, you gonna come and join us and I'll teach you how to do this too? And she's like, oh, it depends on if I have to stop drinking. Why didn't this kind of stuff happen in the previous episode? Whatever, doesn't matter. I don't care. Remember, this is another thing that the show is neglecting to tell us is that women who can channel can sense if other women can channel. And they also know about how powerful they are just by looking at them. They can sense it.
The best thing about poison spears is you just have to touch the enemy. Anyway, doesn't matter. So hold the line.
Hold the bloody line! Why don't you hold the bloody line?
The longer you hold the line, the longer your family survives.
Give me a 2 rivers longbow, and I'll hold your line all night.
You really think you can draw a longbow?
Better than you, boy.
Go on then, get your bows.
So the guy who's training them in combat never bothered to ask them, what kind of physical combat skills do you have? Like, are you hunters? That probably would have been the first thing I would have asked. Are you guys hunters? And you know what? The staff thing would have been the surprise. Like, oh, I never thought to ask you if you guys have any sports or games that you play where there may be something that resembles fighting comes into handy like that. Because that's kind of what it is in the books, is that they use these staffs, and they're basically like shepherding staffs, in sort of a game. And Matt was really good at it. His dad was really good at it. But it's like a bunch of the shepherds are really good at it because, you know, what else are you going to do out there sitting around watching the sheep all day? It's like playing pickleball with your friends, you know? Like, hey, we got these shepherding staffs. What could we do with these? Hey, let's fight with them. That'd be cool. And they get good at it, and they have competitions with it. That would be the surprise thing you weren't expecting them to be good at. But instead, you're starting them out with, well, spears that, you know what? You would kind of handle a little bit like a staff, right? But just the fact that he wouldn't, at this point, have already asked them about, like, bows and arrows. How do people know about their weaving? Somebody recognized Perrin's ring and was like, that's two rivers work, isn't it? And and it was Elaine recognized the weave of a blanket and saying this is from Two Rivers. Like, you recognize their blacksmithing and you recognize their weaving, but nobody's ever heard of how good they are with a bow and arrow. And that's like the pride of the Two Rivers is like, oh, we're really good with bow and arrow. You're going into battle and whatever. Anyway, then remember in the Two Towers when Legolas kind of confronts Aragorn?
Nele Terrain. Dan Carmenig.
Siberia Farhun, Amar Nanededoras.
Aragorn. Nedin Dagor, Hen Urir Othari. Natha Dagathair.
Then I shall die as one of them.
We get basically that conversation here where we've got Maxim telling Alana that, like, we're all going to die. And she's like, well, I found another channeler. She's strong like the girls. He's like, oh, well, you know, good for you. You were right. There's lots of channelers in these hills. I hope that comforts you when we're all dying. So dumb. And then somebody unfurls a wolf banner. And Perrin's looking at it, like, mortified. And all the town's like, ooh, wolves. Like, who knows that he's a wolf brother? And then it's explained away that Fael told some of the villagers that Trollocs are afraid of wolves. Like, that's why they would raise it. Not because at this point everybody knows about Perrin and his connection with the wolves, because he has been using that ability for the past several weeks as he's been gathering people and collecting information about, you know, because he can basically telepathically talk to the wolves. So they'll like go out and gather information and then tell him, and he knows where people are. He knows the movements of the Trollocs, all this stuff. Here, none of that happens. So there's no reason for the town to think, ooh, wolves are awesome. Except this girl goes like, oh, Trollocs are afraid of wolves. Oh, wow, let's make that our flag. Has nothing to do with Perrin, right? And then Perrin starts expressing his self-doubt. We're starting to get a mini arc for Perrin here in this, which this is what you should do when you have arcs within your story, is have little mini arcs, or like, if you have a sequence like this is the battle sequence, you have to build up some anticipation. Let's create that doubt. Throw in there that this isn't going to work, which was, you know, in the Two Towers, that was what stuff like showing kids being put on the front lines and having Legolas, who has been alive for 1,000 years, talking to Aragorn, who's been alive for a couple hundred. Wait, how old is he? 75? I don't remember how old he is. He's old. He's very old.
87.
and have the two of them looking at the situation going, yeah, this is hopeless, we are doomed. That's where you would do this. So here you got Perrin saying, oh no, I don't know if I'm ready to lead all of them. What if I'm not ready? And Fail going,
if the Two Rivers wanted the best general, they'd follow Alana. They wanted the best fighter, they'd follow the IU. The Two Rivers follows you because you're one of them. If you can fight monsters, so can they.
But see, in the book, they didn't pick him because he was one of them. They picked him because he was already taking on the leadership role. He stepped up to the plate and he took control. He said, hey, we need everybody to come in. Hey, we need to start fortifying our village a little bit. We need to start getting ready for battle. He had obviously gone out into the world, seen the dangers out there, and knew what was coming for them and helped them to be prepared for it. And people saw that and believed him, and that's why they followed him. What's with this guy wearing like a Civil War era hat, smoking a pipe? What is that? It's just paused on my screen right now. Like, what? And then Perrin goes, did you get the message to Lord Luke? And Fail's like, yep, he said he'll meet us at the pass. And Perrin's like, us? And goes, now at this point, I'm sure folks who've been watching the show are like, who the heck is Lord Luke? Because he's been a nothing character in the book. He was literally just a guy standing like over there. He was like a background guy. I think he was introduced when Perrin first arrived at the Two Rivers, and that was it. But in the book, again, major character, very like big character. He was like trying to kind of be the Lord of the Two Rivers, and then Perrin showed up and everybody was like, yeah, we're going with him instead because you clearly are not a good leader for us. And it was, anyway. So now we're gonna go meet Lord Luke. Man, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. It annoys me that in the transition montage between, oh, you know, let's go off and meet whoever it is we're gonna go meet, Lord Luke, and then going and meeting him, we occasionally get these like little snippets of people around the Two Rivers doing stuff, and only now do we see somebody stringing bows and like testing them out, making sure that they're well, like, and you know, getting arrows ready. I was like, the main weapon, pretty much every person in the Two Rivers would have known, oh, if we need to defend ourselves, quick, go get your bow. They didn't think, go get your spear. They didn't think, go get your axe or sword. They thought, go get your bow. I thought that they knew that because in season 1, we had, I think, an instance or two where the boys were using bows and arrows. Actually, the first time we saw Rand, and he heard a rock and didn't, you know, he and his dad were traveling somewhere and they heard a noise. He drew his arrow, like he drew an arrow on his bow and was like ready to shoot whatever the hell it was. Whatever. Yeah, but we never get to see Maxime being put in his place. That's what I was totally anticipating. That conversation that he had with the old man, and the old man like, I can outshoot you, and you're like, fine, go get your bow. We never saw the old guy come over and like shoot a fly off his shoulder or something. Like that's what I was waiting, like that would have been nice. I would have liked to have seen that. And that's what that sort of line is building up to. It's building anticipation, like, oh, I want to see Maxime like humbled a little bit because he's like, oh, I know so much better than you. And then this old guy is like the medieval version of a crack shot. Like, oh my gosh, he's really good. I should be putting bows and arrows in everybody's hands. I'm like, who else knows how to shoot like this old guy? Show me the meaning.
We need their help to stand a chance against the Trollocs. They have 200 men on Watch Hill, trained. I mean it, Fire.
We get Dane and Lord Luke on horseback talking to Perrin, who's shouting back to them. And Dane's like, oh yeah, nice, good job, you know, with these, I forget what there's a French term for these, but they're basically horse repellers or like spiked barricades. And he's like, yeah, good attempt at trying to keep us out. And he's like, no, we don't want to keep you out. It's for Trollocs, and hundreds of them just over these hills. Surely your scouts have seen them. And Dane's like, yeah, my guys say that it's like a couple dozen at most. And then Perrin's like, oh, really? Like, what about all the refugees you've probably been getting at your camp? You think that that's just from a few dozen Trollocs? Like, the writers are actually pointing out all the reasons why the audience should look at Dane and think he's an idiot. Because, yes, he's been getting a bunch of refugees. Yes, his scouts, oh my gosh, even if he sent, like, the fake scouts, you know, over the hills and they saw just a few dozen Trollocs, like, the number of refugees, that would be pretty obvious. Oh, whatever. Like, if you're a writer and you've got a hole in your writing, don't point it out to the audience. I might not even have noticed that if they didn't write it that way. No, I definitely would have. I mean,
You know a lot about these Trollocs, Two Rivers. I'm not a dog friend, no matter how much you want me to be. Why would I want that? To make it easier to hate me. Trust that's easy enough, Two Rivers. You murdered my father! I'm sorry. Truly, I am.
All this stuff about Dane wanting Perrin to be a dark friend and all this, like, the thing is Dane heard secondhand that Perrin was present and was like leading people in the battle where his father ended up getting killed. And so he's like, you're the bad guy. You are definitely a dark friend. It's all secondhand. So then when you get to this little confrontation here where it's like, you should come and help us. And he's like, well, you killed my father. We should be looking at Dane going, you're completely mistaken in all of this. I mean, here we're supposed to go, Perrin may have killed your dad, but he was angry and like, that happens. So it's okay. Dane should be looking a lot more like he is just on the wrong side. He's got everything wrong. And even though this sort of added complication can in some cases be good, you always need to ask yourself, if I'm making this change here, is it going to water down a transformation later on down the road or something else that's going to happen? Because even just in this situation, it does. And because of that, they had to change what happens in this story between Perrin and Dane. And they changed it in a way that led to even further complications that take the story further away from what it is in the books, which means that it's going to be a lot more jerry-rigging to get it back on track. Like, really question, especially in the beginning of arcs and stories, whether or not you should make changes, because the littlest change can be have huge consequences down the road, and this is a good example of that.
And are you sorry for what you did to Natty Cawthon? An innocent woman burned alive in your camp when she was already prisoner. She was a witch. No, she wasn't. She died for your grief, like your father died for mine. Where does this all stop? When the light's justice is done.
I do not like it when characters who have done wrong point out, well, you've done it too, and then say, so you should forgive me. It doesn't look good. It looks so weak. Also, Dane didn't do that in the books because Natty Cawthon is not captured by the Whitecloaks and killed, so... And he didn't do it in the show either. It wasn't Dane who killed her, although he might as well have, because he handed her over to Child, what was the other guy? Child Valda, who he would know has a history of, I give you somebody suspected of channeling, you kill them, you torture them to death, so.
Letting the two of us be slaughtered isn't justice. It's not even revenge. It's a betrayal of everything you claim to stand for. What your father stood for. My father fought for the light. Two Rivers.
I hate that Dane has his flask in his hand as he's talking like this. They did depict him as being a mess after his dad died, but this just looks like what is this? Oh, he slicked his hair back. I like it was when it was more like one of the New Kids on the Block or the Backstreet Boys. I keep forgetting it's the Backstreet Boys, not the New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block was like the band when I was a kid, so. And then it was the Backstreet Boys after that, then NSYNC after that, and you know how it goes. Now it's like probably some K-pop band, which the only one I know about is BTS, and only because I thought BTS means behind the scenes, and then someone goes, no, it's a Korean pop group. I'm like, oh.
Why should we fight for you? Because it's the right thing to do. Look, you come to the two rivers, you help us, and I'll go with you when the battle's done. To face your light's justice. That's why you came here, isn't it? To these mountains. To harass me.
I won't waste my men's lives on an empty promise.
If the Trollocs don't finish you, we will.
Now this deal that Perrin makes with Dane does happen in the book, where he says, look, you come and defend us, and I will hand myself over at the end of the battle. Except that, well, Dane kind of agrees to it, from what I remember. And here in the show, he's like, I'm not gonna waste my men's lives on you guys, on empty promises or whatever. And then he says, like, if the Trollocs don't finish you off, we will. Which is not really a Whitecloaks kind of thing. Like, unless the whole town has been found, like, oh, they're all terrible people, they're all witchcraft, whatever. Like, the Whitecloaks were, like, kind of defending people. They were a safe haven for normal people for the most part. So... it's not very Danish either. Daney. It's not like Dane.
You're not even Danish. No way.
Oh my gosh, I remember this scene.
What does that mean? After king?
It's a name. Aemon Alcar Althorin, the last king of Menetherin who died fighting the Trollocs. Right here.
Althorin, like Grand Althor, the Karakarn.
If this could be our last night together, I think I'll finally relent and claim Aiden's kiss. If you still wish me to.
We knew you'd come around.
It's so weird. This show is so horny. Nothing like this is in the book.
Boiled turnips or fresh figs.
Figs. Thank the light.
So, are you going to ask me?
Ask you what?
To turn off the bond again. The battle won't start for a while. You'll get a few hours of peace.
Keep it on. If tonight's going to be our last night together, I don't want to miss any bit of you. And I wasn't lying about the figs. Look what one of my students gave me.
You bitch!
Can you feel it?
Cover all 9,000 taste bud.
Through the bond.
Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up. Get that top note. That cream.
How much I'm enjoying it.
Sweeteners. That's a 10.
So figs actually grow here in Phoenix, and because it's hot enough that they can grow here. They're not that great, like even fresh figs, because my grandfather used to have a giant fig tree and I practically lived off of them, but they were not that great. I had the option of oranges and grapefruit. I always went for the oranges and grapefruit over the figs, because the figs are like, they're not that sweet. But why would you do that? You got apples. Like, they have a whole culture in this Two Rivers of the show where apple trees grow out of dead bodies, right? They bury everybody with an apple seed in their hand and then a tree grows. Go eat some Soylent apples. Do you remember that Johnny Depp movie, The Secret Window, where he grows a whole bunch of corn plants over where he buries his wife's body, and then he's like eating the corn afterwards? And you're just thinking, people corn.
I love cone. Cone. Have a bite.
Anyway, so yeah, they're gonna bang. And you know what? Like, what was the previous scene of the two of them? It was him talking about how, like, yeah, we're all gonna die. And, oh, well, I told you there were a bunch of channelers here. Well, I hope that comforts you that you were right on the day that we're all gonna die. Like, what is with this show and having constant conflict between these romantic partners? Like, oh, that's so romantic. And then here, even, he's like, oh, look, I got you some figs. Like, nope. Like, there's no tenderness. I might have actually enjoyed, okay, now I said it before, this would be an interesting story on its own, in its own invented universe where it's not supposed to be the Wheel of Time from Robert Jordan. It's its own show. Like, what happens if you've got a throuple like this and it's supposed to work only as the three of them, and then the two that were the least close together end up being the only ones there, and it's like, we gotta salvage this relationship or we give up on it. And then this could be like, wow, it's a lot of tension that you're building up to this. And I'm just like, this show is just freaking horny. That's all it is. This show is just horny and does not know romance. And quite honestly, it's not doing it for me the horniness wise either. Like, I'm not turned on by this.
Ouch!
You like that, don't you?
No. That's what he used to do.
I'm only catching this now in the editing bay, but Alana bites Maxim's ear and goes, "You like that, don't you?" And he says, "No, that's what he used to do. That's what Yvonne used to do." So Alana doesn't even know what Maxim likes. So she never was the one giving to him in bed when it was a threesome. Like, what? Alana is a horrible person. So she never paid enough attention to what Maxim likes from her to explore what he might want. She just imitated something she saw Yvonne do and assumed, oh, that's what he would like. So what did she used to do for him in bed? I just can't stop thinking about that conversation that Lan and Maxim had by the well, when Maxim basically explains that, yeah, I'm not really into Alana at all. I'm basically in this just for Yvonne, and the two of them are only in it for each other, so I'm like the third man out. Like, having a she almost died moment is not enough to build a relationship on. Or at least it's not a very satisfying or mature way of doing this. You see this in fan fiction sort of stuff, where it's like, they hate each other, but then they have, oh, she almost dies, and then he's like, wow, I appreciate you all of a sudden, and now they're together. It's kind of a cop-out. It's kind of, it's not always bad. It can be done well, but here it's just not working because we saw most of the time they were not happy together, and then it was like, he leaves in anger. She's like, fine, go. And then suddenly he comes back like, oh, I love you again. Like, what?
You and I are making something new.
This could have been an interesting relationship on its own in a show where we're supposed to be paying attention to this sort of stuff instead of... We should be focusing on Perrin. We should be focusing on Rand. We should be focusing on Matt. And you know what? It's okay. We can focus on the girls too because they're significant characters in the books as well. But this is Perrin's episode. Oh. Who are these side characters that we hardly ever see in the books so far? I mean, even when Alana comes in and does something major, she bonds Rand. Big spoiler. She is hanging out with Rand, and then while Rand isn't paying attention, bam, she's got him. And Rand is like, what the F did you just do to me? And sends her away and tells her never to come back. And now he can just sense her all the time, what she's thinking. Not like he can read her mind, but he can sense what she's feeling all the time. And she knows like kind of what direction that she's in. And there's another Aes Sedai, and I can't remember which one it was, who finds out about what Alana did and was like, yeah, she did the equivalent of rape because she did. But that was like the big significant thing that she did. But it was like she came in, did that, and left. Now, when we're talking about Two Rivers stuff, yeah, she was in the Two Rivers, yes, looking for other channelers and stuff. But it was, again, she was like a side peripheral character. This is like main character time in this show. Why are we doing this? We have way more important stories to be telling here and not a lot of time to tell it. Of course, and this has got to be one of the reasons why the show got canceled. They're probably going, you know what? Your most interesting and important characters got as much screen time as your invented characters. I mean, Maxim's not even a character in the books. So we get to Perrin sharpening his axe wrong. What's he doing? What is that? He found a nick. What a nick. Now he's looking at the hammer. Why are you looking at the hammer now? You're holding the axe. You've been using hammer all day, and now you're like hammer, axe, hammer. Too late. And you know that big fans of the books were looking at this, going, when are they going to do this? And here they're doing it after the choice has been made.
If you want to sneak up on someone, take those knives out of your sleeves.
You're no fun when you're waiting to die. It's all right to be afraid before a battle. My father always is. And he's fought dozens of them.
Are you afraid?
Of course not. Not a big baby.
Dying doesn't scare me. It's what comes before that. I keep seeing their faces, looking at me when they realize I led them to their death.
Without you, it would be worse. They wouldn't have fought at all.
No, they have to. This is their home, but it's not yours. So why are you fighting for it? I know it isn't just because of me.
Maybe it's because you question that, when most men wouldn't. Maybe it's because your friend blew the horn, stealing my shot at glory. Or maybe it's because I like lost causes. Point is, I'm here. Lucky for you.
I don't want to see you die.
You won't? I'll last longer than you.
Serious? Look, if you care about me, then leave now. While you still can. Please.
It depends. Are you sending me away because you're scared that axe will end up in me? Same as your wife?
Enough! It's too far. I mean it, just leave.
Try and make me. Maybe then you'll see I don't need saving. I choose to fight. Just like everyone here is. Just like your wife did. We deserve respect before battle and honor after it. Save your guilt for the enemies that escaped.
This whole conversation here is, again, we're doing like pre-battle, let's build up the anxiety, I don't want you all to die. I don't know, I have mixed, this isn't the worst thing ever, but I've got mixed feelings about it because there was this sentiment of Perrin trying to chase Fail away from the battle beforehand. But it wasn't because, I don't know, he thought he was gonna be responsible for killing her. It was more like, I'm not gonna be able to defend you, I wanna protect you, that kind of thing. Adding the whole wife killing off thing has changed so much of the reasons of why this stuff is going on. It kind of, anytime you change something, it's going to alter what happens in the future. Then you get Fail lecturing him about how you're not going to kill me. Nobody's thinking that's a risk at this point. I'm sorry, but nobody's thinking it. It just seems like an irrational fear. But the fear of, I won't be able to protect you is far more realistic. I don't know. I don't care. It's hard to care. Let's just keep going. Oh my gosh. I already know what scene is next.
We forgot to ask the roof mistress for her permission to play.
Have many men died playing Maiden's Kiss?
And women?
So, by stopping the game, you saved my life. You've paid your toll. You're free to leave and go home.
It's dishonorable to cheat an Aiel of her toll.
A moment, First Sister. He used the game to send us away before the battle, risking his own life to save ours, both of ours. Jihad's toll is paid, but now I owe you, toll builder.
And I go where she goes.
Nothing has changed. How did this happen?
What was the point of all that?
It has completely escaped my memory. Do the Aiel owe Perrin? When did that happen? Was that at the end of season 2? When was I don't remember when it was. I don't remember what it was. I don't care what it was. But they're making excuses for why they can do this scene. 100%. That's what they're doing. Oh, wait. I just remembered it was that axe thing in episode 1. So when they did the whole, the show's version of the bubble, but it was actually just Leandrin in the show. He saved them because of him grabbing that axe and stopping it from killing one of them or both of them or whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess I could say like, wow, you thought that far ahead, but I don't think that they did. I 100% think the whole reason for all of that was so that they could have this like, ooh, we get to almost bang. Like people can like, ooh, we're gonna have like this big bestiality kind of moment here. And it would be a threesome. And then what was I gonna say? And yeah, whatever happened to Avienda's toe towards Perrin? Remember when he like really actually saved her life by setting her free from the Whitecloaks? Because remember, him fighting alongside her didn't pay it back because it was after that conversation that they had another conversation, or after that fight, they had another conversation where she's like, oh yeah, I have toe. And she explained what it was. And she's like, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna bang you or whatever. When did he pay it back? All he would have had to have done is in the finale, showed a moment where Perrin saves Avienda's life, and that would have solved that. But I don't think they did that. I don't remember it at all if they did. I don't think they did it. Whatever, so I guess the Aiel girls are staying in town. Then we get to Perrin with Fail standing around, talking to the two Tuatha'an girls, and he's showing them the picture of Mat blowing the horn of Valir, and it's just like this cute moment where they're going, oh my gosh, it looks like a sheep's bladder. At least they're making fun of the horn looking so weird, because it is very weird looking. It does look like a detergent bottle that's been spray painted gold. So weird. I think I said before that I didn't need a traditional, you know, like the cover of the book. Oh, there it is, right there, where it looks like that traditional sort of hunting spiral horn. They could do something like a conch shell would have been neat, or something resembling a futuristic conch shell. Whatever this was, it was just odd. Anyway, then all of a sudden the alarm rings again, and they're like, Trollocs are coming, and when they look up on the mountain, it's like a huge zigzag of Trolloc torches coming down the mountain. Like, you just noticed them? Okay, that's not even a big complaint. That's more like a whatever. But then we got Maxime saying there are at least 500 torches. They must have dark friends with them. Like, so Trollocs did not use torches? They did use torches in the first episode. So when they were coming down the mountain, we saw them with torches. Anyway, they're like, okay, so they're gonna have dark friends with them. And Perrin goes, do we need to adjust our plans? They didn't assume that they were gonna be bringing dark friends, like that it would only be Trollocs. There would not be any humans with them that, you know, need torches because they can't see in the dark like Trollocs can. Alana's like, 500 or 5,000, Trollocs are dark friends. They all burn the same. We've destroyed all the bridges and Trollocs won't cross deep water. Well, then the dark friends are still an issue. So then they break down what is gonna happen, that they're gonna try and hold them off at the pass. And if they're not able to break them, you know, up enough and kill them off there, then they're gonna hold them at the gate. And then if not there, then in the square. And then if not there, then in the Wine Spring Inn. And then he's like, and then if that, I don't know, it was like doom. And then Ela of the Tuatha'an goes,
I'm sorry, I don't know why you called us here. We will not take up weapons, even for this.
Wow! Get these Tuatha'an out of here!
After the Trollocs attack last time, the women circled dug a secret tunnel out of the village, from the Wine Spring up into the mountains. If the battle looks lost, will you take our children with you and flee?
There is no leaf without the seed. We would be honored.
Perrin explains that after the last Trolloc attack, the women's circle, now there is a like men's council and a women's council in these Two River towns, well, this one in particular, and other ones as well, but that's the tradition. And the men's, like, we're the men. But anyway, so apparently that's what the women did. So Perrin goes, look, if we can't hold them, can the Tuatha'an take the children and run, like take the Two Rivers children and get out of here, go through the tunnel? Because the tunnel goes all the way out into the mountains. They should send them out right away, first off. Like, if you've got a tunnel that's gonna lead you off to safety, like just run, just go, and have like a designated place where it can be like, look, if we win, we will send up a signal that looks like whatever, and then you can watch for it, and if you see it, whatever. I think too much about this kind of stuff. It's my job when I edit people's books, but this is trying to copy Helm's Deep for sure. Like, they had the tunnel through the mountain for the women and children to escape through. The thing that annoys me the most about this was Ela's reaction to, I don't know why you invited us here. We are not going to take up weapons and fight with you, not even for this. Oh my gosh. Like, don't offer to help in any other way. Don't offer to like help the injured or whatever. So then Loyal is like, I'm gonna go close the Waygate because you're never gonna win so long as the Trollocs can keep getting like reinforcements through the Waygate. So I'm gonna go and close it for good. And he's gonna take the two Aiel girls with him. So like in this village, there are 4 elite soldiers. There's Alana, Maxime, and the 2 Aiel girls. And he's gonna take half of them. I'd be like, you're taking 1. No, you're going by yourself.
All right. But once you shut it, don't come back. Go home to a steading, heal yourself.
Is that an order?
3 more fighters won't make a difference tonight.
They didn't show Loyal except that one time right when he came out through the Waygate being weak and like dying. They should have showed him this whole time like really struggling, and they're really worried about him. Like, dude, why don't you go to a steading? And like, no, I'm gonna stay and help. And then they realize there's a whole bunch of reinforcements coming in through this Waygate that's open. I'll go close it. Like, oh, first of all, this does not happen in the book. This is all made up, but they didn't even do it right.
3 more fighters won't make a difference tonight, but 1 book might. If we fall, you can make sure we're remembered. And maybe those who come after us will learn from our stories. And when the shadow comes for them, they'll win. Take care, Loyal.
son of Arend, son of Alan. Your name sings in my ears.
And I swear, your name shall sing in the world's ears, Lord Perrin Golden Eyes.
Don't call me that.
Yeah, everyone knew he was going off to die. We get another Helm's Deep scene.
Let me see your sword. Very sharp. Nice work.
Give me your sword. What is your name?
Hallis, son of Hammer, my lord. The men are saying that we will not live out the night. They say that it is hopeless.
This is a good sword. Halith, son of Hammer. There is always hope.
Let me see your sword. Very sharp. Nice work.
The one wolfy thing that he does is he stands there looking out into the distance, and you hear the wolf howl, and then you can hear like the sounds of clashing, people being killed. We didn't even get to see like from a wolf's POV running through the woods, seeing all of this stuff, seeing the Trollocs coming. Why didn't they do that? You wouldn't even know that he's using his wolfy sense if it wasn't for hearing that sound effect. Like, what? This is like the least amount of effort. I realize this is probably one of their more expensive episodes to do practically, because I think there's the most practical effects in this episode. But like, how hard is that? You have a guy crouched down running around showing just like a quick, like, here's a Trolloc guy. You're about to have a bunch of Trollocs, you know, fully dressed up with a bunch of towns-looking people. Just have like whatever. And then you can whip the camera around and you show a wolf. And then I thought we were going to get a nice speech from Perrin, but instead he just starts singing that song of Manetheren, and that's it. Now, this would mean a lot more to me if I had seen Perrin being the leader of the village throughout the series up until now, or at least this season. Instead, we saw him talk, he talked to them once, and then we have this scene. You build up to something like this. You don't have a no speech moment. I just sing the song and you know the sentiment behind it. You don't do that without building up to it properly. And the way you build up to it properly is by showing this character, having dialogue with the others and building them up and, you know, telling them everything that they need to know, everything that they need to hear, helping them to feel more, I guess, this could be a cool moment where he has nothing to say to them. He's a man of few words. He's not good with words, but he sings the song and he knows it rallies their spirits. That could work, but it will only work if we have seen him being the leader of them before and we just didn't see that before. So it means nothing it just looks like whatever. I don't care. And pretty much every person who watched this episode, I'm sure, was thinking the same thing. Why didn't the Trollocs just go around the horse repellers? Like, why? It would not be that hard to get around these things.
Protect each other!
They shouldn't be down in the pass. They should be up above it, firing down on them with their bows and arrows. They should be pulling Mulan on this. Like, where's the avalanche? Like, let's start a landslide and take them all out. Just watch some movies. There are movies where you can get ideas for this. How about we do a Braveheart? Let's douse the entire gorge or valley, this pass with oil and then set it on fire or pour it down on them from above. Oh, no, we're gonna get down in there with them and do this. You're not at an advantage at this point. You've just leveled the playing field. You're not smart. I thought that Alana is like a battle general. Wouldn't the Aiel have said something? I mean, they're used to taking down numerous enemies. One versus many, they know how to do that. They would see this and go, we are few versus many. What would be the most advantageous position for us? Well, it wouldn't be down in the pass with them. It would be up above it. Anyway, moving on. Also, arrows, by the way, were a huge advantage on the battlefield. We get to the Aiel and Loyal looking over at the Waygate, and they're like, oh man, there's so few guards, like what a bunch of idiots. And then a messenger arrives and says, we need reinforcements, go tell them right away. And I'm like, okay. And then Loyal's like, we gotta get that Waygate under control before the reinforcements arrive. And the girl's like, okay. And then they charge, announcing themselves as they charge towards the Waygate. Yeah, that was smart. It's okay, they win anyway, it doesn't matter. I'd like to see somebody being clever. Okay, so what I can gather from what their plan is and what they're shouting to each other. Okay, there are 3 barricades. The townsfolk are behind barricade number 3. The Trollocs are on the far side of barricade 1. When the Trollocs break through barricade 1, Perrin tells Maxime, go! And Maxime leads some archers towards barricade number 2. Because that's where the Trollocs are arriving, on the other side of barricade 2, and they start shooting at them there. And they're, why were they behind barricade number 1? Why weren't they, or barricade number 3? Why weren't they all the way at the other barricade? And then that way you can fire arrows at them while they're further away, and then if they get close, then you go, okay, now we retreat. Am I missing something here? Because this is the strategy. What is the advantage of this strategy of starting out further away from them and then getting closer and then getting back further? Anyway, and then as the Trollocs are like not being affected by this change, Perrin goes, Maxime now, and he's gonna use the bond to signal Alana. At least they're doing something clever with this. This is the sort of thing that I don't recall seeing happen in the books. Remember, I'm only in book 6, and I have not seen a whole lot with the bond happening yet. But this is the sort of thing that I would have been using it for in battle all the time. Like, remember the whole escape from the White Tower when the bad guys were leaving the White Tower, and then Alana and her guys came, and I was like, oh, they should have snuck around and attacked their flank or attacked them from behind. This is what you would use the bond for this kind of thing, to like, okay, now, whatever. And also remember, we had this issue in season 1's finale with the whole Alana, or one Aes Sedai, linking with a bunch of others so that she'll be super powerful and then making electricity come down and like blast them all, right? Well, we said that they should have had the Aes Sedai attacking on the other side of the wall. Don't wait for them to kill all your guys and breach the wall. Kill them on the other side, where they're all together. Did they not hear that criticism of the season 1 finale? Because the same issue is happening here. Why didn't Alana wipe out the Waygate while they were still coming out? Why? So much of why. I don't... And remember, in the finale of season 1, we were dealing with a woman who was not powerful enough and skilled enough to become a full Aes Sedai. And she linked with all those other girls. And you can say, oh, well, she had Nynaeve linking with her too. It doesn't matter. She didn't have the know-how. Alana is a super warrior. She should have picked up on a few things like over time. Well, they're all gathered together like this, so it'll be easy to take them out like this. They're all coming out of this one tiny little gate. I could take out the gate. And I will give them credit for not repeating lightning, but shards of ice falling from the sky is not much more creative. Why didn't she cause a landslide? That would have just like solved everybody's problems. All the Trollocs coming up to these horse repellers. I guess we're supposed to assume they're just not that smart.
That was way better than lightning.
No, it wasn't way better than lightning. Sorry.
Alana, did you see what they were?
They made a tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat by Trollocs.
Something's off. The armor, the discipline, this isn't how Trollocs fight. It's like someone's controlling them.
What's wrong?
Alana, behind you!
my gosh. Yeah. Oh man. No. She's been gone. It's through the spine. Oh, it's horrible. And it means absolutely nothing because we've already seen this and we know that she's gonna come out of it just fine. Oh.
Get into shelter! Find cover for her! Go!
And then all the villagers are like, we can't fight without an Aes Sedai. We gotta get out of here. And Maxim's like, it's not Aes Sedai that win battles. It's not soldiers that win battles. It's being too stubborn to die and not letting the wheel run you over. Oh, I mean, I can see that they're trying to like, oh, we're gonna play into the Two Rivers guys are really stubborn. Like that's where, you know, Perrin should have been the one making that speech, first of all. And second of all, how much have we seen Max? Oh, whatever, I don't care. That did it? You should be too stubborn to die. It's okay. Not really. I can't stop thinking about Alana. Oh boy. The two Aiel girls and Loyal have made it to the Waygate, and he pulls out a leaf, and the girls go, oh, Avenda Sora. Anyway, then the gate opens, and he goes, will you two defend my back? Blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, okay. Then the gate opens and closes. He goes in. This, again, did not happen in the books.
Harry! Maxim, the pass. Without Alana, we couldn't hold it. We held as long as we possibly could. Your people did you proud. We'll hold them at the walls.
We can't hold anything without the Aes Sedai. We don't have the numbers.
I know.
Can you do what you did before? The weave of healing.
It's funny how he's still talking. I could have sworn I hit a lung. Oh, there it is.
I'm trying. I don't know what's happening. It's not working.
It's okay. You've done so much today. I'm so proud of you.
And of course, they magically can't do it. Something they were able to magically do, just like, blah. Like, oh, you mean we can channel? Well, we kind of channeled once before. Like, oh yeah, we'll heal you. Girls, can you please save my life? Just do it. We don't know what's happening. Why can't we do it? This is so manufactured. This is like cringy to watch. I've already seen it. I knew this was coming and I'm still like embarrassed on behalf of the actors. Like they had to know that this is so convenient. Why isn't she coaching them like she did all the other times? Close your eyes, picture the bud.
I'm so sorry.
What was that horn? Who's there?
Whitecloaks! They're waving a flag of peace!
Open the gate!
That is no Orkhorn.
Send for the king.
Open the gate!
Again.
He came.
It was the right thing to do.
How is this possible? An alliance once existed between elves and men. Long ago, we fought and died together. We come to honor that allegiance.
Aram Fain. He's with you?
Face the girlfriend! Close the gates! Hold these gates!
Actually like this as like an invented story that, you know, oh, we let the Whitecloaks in, because this does not happen in the books. And then hidden among them were dark friends, and Perrin sees Pad and Fane. But then again, it's like, how did the Whitecloaks not recognize a whole bunch of their crew were not really Whitecloaks? Like, you can't tell? I mean, they have a very specific kind of lifestyle. If you can't tell just by looking at them always being like clean cut, they all have the same haircut, like they probably all have the same set of rules. And then you get these dark friends who don't fit in at all saying, oh yeah, we're here to help. Like, definitely Pad and Fane does not look like he fits in. And nobody noticed? Nobody questioned anything. Okay. Anyway, I like this idea. This was a good idea, but it was not well executed. And when I say it's a good idea for fan fiction. It's not a good idea for a story that's already written down, that has been wildly successful decades before this show was even conceived. Whatever. Their use of the Molotov cocktails is coming a little bit late. Like, you should be throwing those when everybody's gathered in a group, which would have been, remember when they were back at the barricades? That's okay. Oh, it's not okay. Dane making excuses. I'm sorry, I didn't know about Pad and Fane. You should have. Yeah, you should have. Well, he's been too drunk and mopey to notice anything, so oops. And we got the women's circle forming a barricade of shields with spears around the Wine Spring Inn, and then Ila, whatever, she can see that they're screwed, so she goes back into the inn and she's like, all right, Aram, it's time, let's take everybody. It looks like it's just the two of them taking all these kids, but no, there's a few others. But still, like, they didn't really make it clear that there's a bunch of Tuatha'an, but whatever, I do not care. So now they're gonna go through the tunnel and escape. Now back with Loyal in the Waygate, we see that his big plan was he brought this sledgehammer, and after he's closed the gate, he's gonna, you know, sledgehammer the pillars and it'll break and not. That was his big plan? He should have brought more guys. Outside, I thought that it was the Trolloc talking. Have you ever seen that Lord of the Rings video where somebody dubbed normal voices over the orcs, over the Uruk-hai?
What is it? What do you smell? Man flesh. Gosh darn it. They've picked up our trail. Gosh.
I thought that's what was going on here. I thought that this Trolloc was the one saying like, hey, we need those reinforcements right now. Well, who did this? Aes Sedai. Anyway, the girls raise their veils and we hear their theme song, which I like. I like their theme song, and they're gonna, like, you know, they're gonna kick ass, and oh boy. We get to Aram and Ilia with all the kids out in the woods, and Ram's like, we gotta get further out into the woods. I thought this thing was supposed to go like, wait, whatever, anyway. And then all of a sudden, a Trolloc appears, and it's like, okay, so the Trolloc, it's not over where the big battle is, which is where it would definitely have been drawn to, like, that's where I wanna be. It decided to be like a mile away, because remember, this is supposed to come out in the mountains. What's it doing over there? Did it bypass the town? Was it roaming around before and it was on its way to the town? I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, fine. They've run into a Trolloc and now they're toast because they can't fight it. They can't use violence. So this Trolloc has hit the buffet. Anyway, he's running, the kids are running, and then at one point he takes shelter behind a tree and is hiding, and he's like breathing, and you see he's got a little, like an infant that he's got, you know, strapped to him. That's a tiny baby. That thing would be crying its brains out unless it got brain damage at this point because he's been jostling it so much as he's running. But finally he starts crying. That gives away where he is. One of the other Tuatha'an is running past him, and it gets pounced on by a Trolloc, and then the Trolloc drops a knife, and Aram grabs the knife as the Trolloc is attacking him, and then he kills the Trolloc. And yeah, he's got the baby. I'm like, that baby's dead, but the Trolloc's dead too. Oh no, Aram killed the Trolloc. Or it was a spear, not a knife, but when his mom saw it, oh no, and they look at each other in horror, and Aram's like, oh no, and he throws the spear down, whatever. Remember, it was a choice. It was Aram's choice in the book to leave the Tuatha'an. Like, this was a life choice. Here it was very clearly like a desperate moment, and he immediately was horrified that he had done this. But that's not the way it was in the book. Again, you are taking a character who, even though we've had very little of him in the book, it's more than what we've had in the show, and it seems like he's going to be a character that comes back. Like, we see his life changing stuff like this at the beginning of a character's story, it will have consequences later on. I guarantee it. It's just a bad idea, except that we're not going to see any more of this show, so I guess we won't see it. Okay, so we get to Perrin, and he is fighting a Trolloc all the way into his blacksmith's little, what do you call it? The smith. And he's looking out the windows at other people getting killed. Like, he paused to, like, observe everybody, and then he goes, oh, everybody's gonna die, and it's all my fault. It's because of me. How is it exactly your fault? Or exactly, like, weren't the Trollocs gonna attack this town anyway? I mean, anyway.
I failed them.
Failure is freedom. Because now what is there to be afraid of? What would you give for the 2 rivers?
Everything.
Then show them.
I will say that Fael is right about this thing. You know, failure is freedom because now there's nothing to lose, just go. But like, seriously, Perrin has to be convinced to go out and defend his village? This is not Perrin at all. Like I said, he is the protector archetype. It's a type of a warrior archetype where his main motivation is protecting loved ones. That is why he became the leader of the 2. I can't believe he has to be reminded and like motivated to go out and protect the people he grew up with. I get what they were trying to do, but they did it wrong. The self-doubt should have been there, but he should not have to be reminded to go out there and defend the people. It should have been before the action started happening. That's where the doubt happens. Or maybe there's a moment of hopelessness, like we're not going to make it, and he's still fighting and still fighting. That's what I would have done instead. Oh, whatever, don't care. Ooh, but now this I liked. This is the one thing in this episode that I remember going, oh, I would love to have seen more of that because I like this dynamic. So what we've got now are a sequence of events where Perrin goes out into the fray and he's swinging, right? Taking huge blows on big animals and big people. And Fael is following along behind him, finishing them off with her little daggers. That's a cool dynamic because he's gonna incapacitate them. They're still alive and she finishes them off. And this is like a very effective, I would think, way to work. He should just be like blindly swinging through at any enemy that comes within range of him. And then she ensures that they never get up again. That is a cool dynamic. That is a cool fighting duo. And it's realistic. Because she's not going to be able to do what he can do. And he's not going to have time to go and finish all of them off because every second swing he has to take could have been a first swing on another guy. So this is cool. I like this. There you go. I got something nice to say about this episode. And I remember this moment going, I like that. I would have loved to have seen more of this. Okay, I didn't remember him saying, kill the ones I miss. I just remembered her finishing off the guys that he incapacitates. I think it would have been better without that line. Because it's not the ones he misses. He didn't miss them. She's finishing them. He should have just said, finish them after I take them out or something. If I cared enough about this show to want it to be really good, I would stop and think of a good line for him to say that's like quick, but also makes it clear that he doesn't really think he's gonna end up killing every single one that he takes a strike at, but he does want her to finish them off behind him. And, okay, yeah, so then Perrin gets to that one barricade before the Wine Spring Inn. It's right, they're at the square. He's like, defend the square, 2 rivers to me. And then he's taking out guys, and then we go over to Fael, and she's taking out guys, and then we go to Dane, and he's taking out guys. I seem to remember it being a much longer sequence where he's taking out big guys and she's finishing them off behind him. Maybe it was just like such a one standout moment for me that it was the whole battle for me. But I liked it a lot. And this part I'm less impressed with because like I get that they have made Fael into this like fantastic warrior woman with her daggers and stuff like that. But it was such a cool sequence idea. Like I liked it. And whatever. I don't care. Moving on. There's one really weird shot of Maxime. He draws the arrow, looks over there, and shoots while he's looking away. Like, what was that? It's very odd. Also, I'm not entirely sure why at this range we've got Maxime using a bow and arrow. Isn't he a swordsman? Isn't that what Warders were definitely excellent warriors all around, but like swordsmanship was their thing, I'm pretty sure. He looks sexier with a bow and arrow. And yeah, I know all about, he is the husband, I guess, of the showrunner. So you gotta give him some sexy looking screen time, right? I mean, look, that's such a petty complaint, but it's one of the, we're just gonna add it on to the scale. Yep, we get to once again see all of the women of the women's circle kicking ass, and then Fail is like, I like your women's circle. Then we get, okay, so through all of this, we had a shot of Child Valdor walking through the battle looking for something. Like, he's looking for the Aes Sedai. And anyway, now he's found Alana, and she's still with the two girls who have done nothing for her. And he's like, haha, I finally found you. And he's marching towards him. And the two girls stand up, hold hands, and they're like, it's you. Or no, he goes, it's you. Because they start channeling. Magically, they can channel now. And he can see it. Which, how many times do you have to explain that men can't see the women channeling and women can't see the men channeling? Like, has the show made that clear at all? Because it's a pretty big deal in the books. That, first of all, if you can't channel, you can't see channeling. And if you're a man, you definitely can't see the women channel. Like, there are times in the books where we're like in Rand's head or the girls' head, and they're all wondering if the other person is channeling who's of the opposite sex. And they're like not sure because you can't sense it. And Rand at one point realizes he can sense when women channel, and he says it, and the women are like, we don't believe that. Whatever. I totally get why book people are so offended by all of this, because this sort of thing would annoy me. I'd be like, no, this is an established rule in the book, and you're breaking it yet again. Like, did they forgot. Anyway, they set Child Valda on fire, and he burns to death screaming like a coward, which, whatever. And Alana, who's still alive somehow, even though she had, was it a spear or an arrow went right through her? I think it was a spear. It was a very big arrow if it wasn't a spear. It went through her spine. She's still alive, and she's laughing. Because, you can totally laugh when you've got something sticking out of your abdomen and going through your back. Oh, okay. Why didn't the girls immediately turn around and heal her? Okay. Anyway, Perrin makes eye contact with Padden Fane, who picks up a girl and slits her throat. And then Perrin's like storming over there. He's taking out guys. Fail is behind him also, taking out guys. I don't think they're working together quite in that dynamic that I really liked now that I'm watching it really closely. I must have imagined, like the first time I watched it, I must have been like, oh, every time Perrin was fighting, she was right there finishing him off, and he wasn't really finishing him off. And now I'm watching it and going like, it was only for like a very short sequence. It was such a good sequence, though. It felt longer. Anyway, and at one point, he's almost up to where Padden Fane is, but two Trollocs come up to him, and Padden Fane's like, ha ha ha! And then Perrin takes one swing at the two Trollocs, and he's still fighting them, but all of a sudden, then Padden Fane goes, oh no, and runs away. Like, that was quick. You were feeling really good about this, and then suddenly changed your mind. Oh. Then Perrin gets Padden Fane. And then for some reason, Perrin, instead of killing Padden Fane, remember, he killed a guy he didn't know before, what was his name? Dane's dad. And that was just for a dog. Well, it was for a wolf that he was like his brother and they were linked mentally, whatever. Anyway, but here he's watched like his whole family getting wiped out by a traitor. The rage would be like in outer space at this point. And he's like, tell me why you hate us. Why are you doing this to us? Like, you wouldn't give a crap. You'd be so mad, but fine. He's going to ask him, and Padden Fane's like, I don't care about any of you guys. The Dark Lord wants to wipe the two rivers out as like a message to the dragon. So, whatever, go ahead. I've got thousands of Trollocs coming through that Waygate any minute now. There's going to be no lanterns at Beltane. And then we get to Loial, who is inside the Waygate, making no progress at all on taking out these pillars so that the Waygate will collapse, and thousands of Trollocs, which in the last shot of him, we could already see him making their way to him. They're already on their way to him. Like, they're almost there. And all of a sudden, he and he starts humming. And I thought that he was going to do the tree singing thing, where he was going to sing. And just like how we saw demonstrated in season 2, so I thought that's like, oh, they're leading up to this. That maybe he would have brought, I don't know, a sapling with him or had a seed, or I don't think there's any plants inside the Waygates. And then use the tree to like destroy the gate, or maybe he could sing to the gate since the gate is kind of, you know, a tree thing going on here. And like, they didn't think to do that? How did nobody think to do that? How did nobody writing this think that's how he'll do it? You already set it up in season 2 when he grew that tree for everybody's entertainment. But no, he's singing or humming the Song of Manetheren. But yeah, so anyway, he sledgehammers the ground that he's on and realizes, oh, that can crumble, and then waits for the army to get really close to him. He kind of roars at them. We hear that heroic music that I really thought was actually Matt's theme song, but that's okay. Anyway, and then he, you know, smashes it again, and the whole Waygate floating island bit falls, Loyal with them. He's now falling for all eternity, because that's what happens when you fall here. Okay. I mean, he's still alive all the way to the end of the series from what I have been told. He's still alive in book 6, and I've been told he lives all the way to the end, so... Were they going to bring him back again? If they did, my guess is they were going to have it that he lands on another island and, you know, floating island, and then goes out that Waygate and appears somewhere else in the world, and it just takes him forever to get back to where the gang is. We go outside to the girls. I kid you not, they are fighting, and it just so happens that both of them have been knocked to the ground and they're about to be killed by a guy standing over them when the gate explodes. But because they're laying flat, the explosion happens over them, and everybody who's standing around them gets wiped out except them. It's like a nuclear blast, but they're okay.
Sounds like your reinforcements aren't coming.
I still have more than enough here.
Then why do you smell so afraid?
See, we're shepherds and farmers. Not a soldier among us.
And you're the only one here who's afraid to die.
I'll make you a deal.
No, I'll make you one. You want to live? There's only one way you can.
Call off your army and know you control them.
You have been the whole time. Run far, far away and never come back. Or die right here and now. For nothing and no one.
And you trust me to keep that promise?
Trust, I'll keep my end of it. If you don't.
I come here! I come here!
I do not like this at all because it makes the hero so freaking stupid. Like, tell him to call him off, and the second he does, then kill him. But of course, that's not what he does. And I know it's like, oh, well, he has to be doing the honorable thing. Well, do you seriously think that this sworn servant of the Dark Lord, he literally said, the Dark Lord told me to take out your entire village, the one that I know quite well. I knew all these people. I don't care about them. I'm just doing whatever the Dark Lord says. You really think it's a good idea to let him go? Or you're doing such a great service to the rest of the world. But this didn't happen in the book. This is why they're doing it, because Padden Fane has to survive this. And it is quite silly that Padden Fane, laying on the ground, can just shout out and all the Trollocs and Dark Friends will listen to him. Yeah, because first of all, yes, they can hear him. And like the Trollocs will listen to him and whatever, okay, I don't care. As soon as this enemy has turned their backs to take off, that is when you, like, take them out. Go, like, what are you doing standing there? Go after them. You're winning. You were holding them off, which means you were winning. So now that their backs are turned to you, go. See, the only reason why this was acceptable in the Two Towers is because they ran off on their own. And they ran off into the mobile Franghorn Forest. Everybody's happy, everybody's celebrating. Fail kisses Perrin, everyone's cheering, they've all run off. The end of the battle. Next morning, everybody's cleaning up, everything seems happy. We're not going through the mourning period of like most of the village has been slaughtered. But anyway, the two girls walk up to Alana and Maxine, and they're like, are we gonna go to the White Tower with you now? And she's like, nah, I think that the pattern's got bigger plans for us since you saved my life twice. And Alana looks like, she looks great. Her outfit is in perfect condition from what I can tell. Like, I don't even think her clothes have a hole in them from where they got shot. But Maxime is sitting beside her, holding her, and he's like scarred, like blood, like open wounds, and don't heal him. We can see Aram looking all butthurt because now he isn't allowed to be a Tuatha'an again, even though in the books it was totally his choice. And yeah, then one of the wise women, I think it's supposed to be Egwene's mother, comes up to him and says, hey, so I think we're gonna need a new blacksmith, because I heard that the Tuatha'an, you guys fix pots and pans for a living, so you're welcome to stay. And so we know that's what's gonna happen to him. Anyway, they go into, I guess, what was Loyal's corner, find his book that he left there. Perrin's like, I told him to leave afterwards, to go find a steading, but he left his book, which means he knew that when he was going, he wasn't coming back.
Life is a dream from which we all must wake before we can dream again.
May your soul find water and shade. Loyal, son of Aram, son of Halan. Your name sings in our ears.
The wheel turns, and the red eagle of Manetheren becomes a wolf. The Two Rivers stands alone against the shadow, with a blacksmith to lead them. A man who took that role, not because he wanted to lead, but because his people wanted to follow.
Two Rivers, we had a deal.
What are you talking about?
Will you surrender yourself to the light's justice, as you swore?
I suppose you call yourself children, so I shouldn't be surprised you can't count.
No, stop. I'll come.
Are you mad? They're just going to kill you.
That's their choice. Like it was your choice to fight. And it's my choice to stop fighting. Can you respect that? Violence never ends until someone says enough.
Family was taken from him, but who stood tall in his sorrow and protected those he could. Perrin Aybara, my friend.
Hail Perrin Goldeneye, Lord of the Two Rivers!
Again, this did not happen in the books. They basically showed up wanting Perrin, and he's like, well, you didn't come to our aid like you said you would, because they didn't. So I'm not handing myself over. The end. So they would have had to stage a rescue so that Perrin could end up where he's supposed to be, which is back in the Two Rivers, because he's there. He's basically ruling for a while. At the beginning of book 6, he and Fael are like living like a king and a queen, basically, in the Two Rivers. Even within the context of this show, the Whitecloaks brought more danger to the Two Rivers when they joined the battle. They didn't come to their defense. They showed up with the enemy and let them in through the gate. So I don't see why Perrin owed them anything. He's handing himself over for no reason. Somebody should have said something about that. But that's the end of the episode. He hands himself over, gets taken off, everybody's cheering, Lord Perrin Goldeneyes and whatever. I don't really have anything else to say. I've said everything I have to say about this episode. I think that we're just gonna end it, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed. We got one left. Oh my gosh, it's taking forever. One left, but so close. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and comment, even if it's just with an emoji. Otherwise, if you have the means and you're feeling generous, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, or hit the money heart thanks button down below. That's it. Be good to yourself.